Greetings everyone, I am Dr. Wolf, and with MLP Season 9 just around the corner, I actually wanted to discuss some upcoming episode screenshots that I had come across not too long ago. And yeah, there are quite a few interesting little tidbits. Just please be aware there are potential spoilers ahead for those who wish to avoid them. First up, we have an image which shows Quibble Pants. It's nice to see that Patton Oswalt is making a return, and in what looks to be a buckball match. And here I thought that buckball might be a one-and-done thing with an episode. Although, given his getup, does that mean he might be coaching one of the teams? I'm not entirely sure where this is going, but I do like seeing his return. Next up, it looks like we have an image of Twilight in the School of Friendship and even the Student 6, but there isn't that much to discern out of this one image. I'm not finding much interesting about it, but we'll see where it leads and when the episode eventually comes. Next up, we have Applejack and Applebloom looking particularly happy leaping through the air. And is it just me, or does this look like another musical sequence? I hope we get another song from the Apple family. Those are always fun. And next up, I think we have what was definitely a musical sequence. Pinkie Pie in a spacesuit dancing on some planet rings. Now, we saw just a little hint of something like this during a trailer several weeks back, where it's quite certain that there's something around Pinkie's head as well as Gummy's head here. They look like fish bowls or bubbles, but if they're astronaut helmets, I guess this is an episode based around imagination? Maybe? We'll see. And now we get to something that is really fun, or at least looks to be. Not only do we have Shadow Spade and what looks to be pretty musty underground ruins of some kind, but we're also getting a return of the sneak suit that Fluttershy was wearing during the magic duel all the way back in season 3. I mean, holy cow, that's quite the callback for something that was only on screen for a few seconds back then. And what's more, Spike seems to be wearing something very similar. You think Fluttershy has extra sneak suits around? One that could be worn by a dragon? Or maybe this is Rarity making adjustments so that Spike could have his own costume for their own little adventure. In either case, the idea that these four would be going off to solve some kind of mystery in some ancient ruins, or at least they look ancient to me, got a lot of potential there, I think. What do you think? This next image doesn't have a whole lot about it. It's basically just Twilight and books. Those are always fun, in short doses anyway. And now it looks like we have a return to the Dragonlands, with not only Spike, but also Smolder. Now, looking at this situation, I have to wonder if this is another example where Spike is being made fun of, and yeah, given these other dragons' history, that's not too far of a stretch, and Smolder coming in and being more of the big sister, kind of like what she was doing during Moltdown. And if you look in really close, you'll see that Spike is holding something that looks a little burned. A handkerchief, a blanket, a keepsake of some kind, because with hearts on it, you have to believe that it came from Ponyville. And naturally, the dragons wouldn't take too kindly to something like that, or at least some of them. The fact that Smolder is the one standing up for Spike, I wonder what that leads to beyond this scene. We'll have to wait and see. And now we have something that I was theorizing about in this trailer that came out several weeks ago, but now confirmed. These are garden tools being given to the main six, fighting off what looks to be vines straight out of the Everfree Forest, and if I'm not mistaken, some dark crystals from King Sombra? Could Sombra have actually created something within the Everfree Forest that is growing out of control? Or is his dark magic able to influence the forest directly? Do whatever he wants with it? Anyways, the main six fighting off vines and crystals using garden tools. I imagine that scene could be quite out there. And what looks to be from the same episode, the main six are confronting Sombra, and you might think that they're about to be using the elements of harmony, but if you look real close here, none of them have the elements of harmony on them. They're drawing upon their own innate magics, their own innate friendship beams, whatever the case may be. But does that mean Sombra's going to be blasted into oblivion again? Or is there something else that might be in store for him? Again, curious to see what'll happen. Finally, we have this quick little scene about old folks in a band. I don't know how else to describe it because I don't really recognize a lot of them. Hey everyone, one image I realized I had neglected to talk about is actually one of the more interesting ones. We see Twilight Sparkle and the Student 6 somewhere. I mean, if you look at the background, it almost looks like they've been shrunk down given the food pieces. And yet we see clouds outside of, is that a window? I'm not even sure. So putting that aside, what looks to be Twilight Sparkle at first, if you take a closer look, is actually the glowy version of Twilight Sparkle. So that leads me to believe this is actually the Tree of Harmony. And if it is the Tree of Harmony interacting with the Student 6 and bestowing on them the colors of loyalty, honesty, laughter, magic, generosity, and kindness in turn, then yeah, it looks like the Student 6 might be taking on the mantle of the elements of harmony here. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. Overall, though, yeah, there are quite a few interesting story elements that can be discerned from these screenshots, and I am curious to see where at least a few of them lead off to. Particularly Shadow Spade and Fluttershy's sneak suit, seeing Smolder and Spike returning to the Dragonlands, and even this whole situation with King Sombra himself. Season 9 is just around the corner, and yeah, it's getting me theorizing and getting excited all over again. And I'm glad for that. I'm really glad for that. This is the final season of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, and I want them to bring out all their best material for this last little bit of fun. But what do you think about all these little tidbits? We only have a few days left until Season 9 begins, so here's hoping for the best of the best. Until next time, I am Dr. Wolf, and I look forward to hearing from you.